when it came to fight, I stepped up and won 5 world titles. Long career now of 25 years, and I still got my wit about me. I'm healthy. I've had 8 major surgeries. I've had 3 knee surgeries. I have ACL replacement, 50% meniscus taken out. I've had L4-5, S1 fused in my lower back. I've had T3, T2, T2, T1, T1, T7, or C7 disc replacement. I've had C7, C6 fused, I had C5, C4 disc replacement, and I had a reattached retina in my left eye. So all you guys people thinking, I was like, what, this guy's crazy as shit. Why is he doing this for such a long time? Because I love it. I'm 47 years old. Thank you. I'm able to watch my body transform when I put myself through, in my last 2, actually not last fight because I fought Anderson in a boxing match I probably should never did. Take a fight on a month notice, cut 40 pounds in 1 month. It was hard, but when you don't work for 18 months, you gotta take care of your family. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, I'm a prize fighter, but I'm a blue collar worker, just like you guys. I work my ass off, and like I said, the last couple of days has been wonderful to be all these fans, but this is still work for me. I wait for my family, and I'm working. And I've really learned that through life of just working through things, and I'm fortunate to be where I am, just because of, like I say, the surgeries that I've gone through, and to still get up each and every day and teach my children how to be better men. Like I say, I'm not raising kids. I mean, as any parents in here, I'm not raising kids. I'm an adult raising men. I want men to grow up and take care of their families the way I'm taking care of my family, because as a kid growing up, my father chose drugs over me. And it was always hard to swallow, but I understood it as I got older. I could go through therapy and so forth. But life's hard. Everybody knows life's hard. That's why punishment, with my clothing brand, that's why I came up with punishment. Every day is punishment, no matter what. I don't give a fuck what job you got. Every day is hard, right? Got to get up, you got to punch in that clock, and you got to do your work, and you got to provide for your family. Well, I'm very fortunate that God gave, I can't even say God gave me gifts because I worked so hard to have these things, but being an honest man is, God gave me the gifts because of being an honest man. And I can teach my children these same things. And through fighting, I've been able to actually help other parents grow up, because as a kid that I've grown up, I never had parents, that I've been very fortunate to be an inspiration towards people's life. So I think that's the biggest thing. You're not even just being a fighter, you're talking about being a world champion. I'm very fortunate, but at the end of the day, big man upstairs looks over me, and as long as my kids are healthy and my family's healthy, and if I can help somebody else's life and be an inspiration, I'm doing the right things, I think.
I think that's something that everybody loves about you, is your authenticity. Even though we joke and say that there was a character aspect to you as well. Yeah. When you won, we could see it meant the absolute world to you. One of my favorite UFC moments in history was the win over Ryan Bader, where a lot of people counted you out, and you could see
you don't even know.
the grave digging celebration, you on the cage.
Is this being recorded right now?
This is being recorded. You can say whatever you want.
So we talked about the Ryan Bader fight. I fought, July 6, 2011. I was going through a bad relationship at the time. My ex-girlfriend, Jenna Jameson, you guys probably know of. I come to realize I tried to save someone, and I tried to save my mom, because my ex, she had a drug problem, and I thought that I could save my mom. Now, this took me $30,000 to cost. Got to go through therapy, and I had to pay for my therapy, but hey, I get it. I tried to fix her, and it didn't work. 8 weeks before that fight happened, I signed on it, and I was like, okay, cool. I don't need your negativity. I lived in the same household with her. We slept in the same bed together. I didn't have one conversation for 8 months, or 8 weeks, excuse me, 8 weeks. Not one conversation at all. Because the negativity that you feed into in a relationship with a person so toxic, it'll ruin you completely. And I went through this, and before the Bader fight, I said, we're not talking. I'd sleep in the same bed for 8 weeks. Never talked to her. I took care of my kids in the morning. I'd go to, when they go to school, I go to training. I'd be back home at 3 o'clock to pick them up, bring them back home. I had a nanny there, and then I go back to train again, and this was for 8 weeks. And I remember going down to Vegas, getting ready for this fight, and I was a 6-1 underdog, I believe. I worked really, really hard for that fight, really, really hard. I had 4 fights left on my UFC contract. And not many people know this, and you guys as fans probably don't even really understand it, but it's for a decent amount of money. I said, Jenna, we can't talk anymore. No conversations, I don't care. Let me do me, you do you. I'll help with the kids, I'll do my part. And I remember I went to Michael Bisping's, he was the Ultimate Fighter that season. And all the guys go, hey, Tito, hey, can you do the gravedigger thing? I was like, no, you gotta wait until Saturday. And they looked at me like I was an alien. They're like, what? No, really. They all counted me out. I was like, fucking watch this shit. So I did all the promotion that day of the weigh-ins, and everyone kept asking me, so Tito, what are you going to do after this fight? Well, what are you going to do after this fight? I go, I'm fighting for the title. I'm going to win this fight. I'll win the next one. I go, I'm going to win. And everyone goes, no, really, Tito, what are you going to do? You do promotion? I mean, what are you going to do? I go, no, I'm going to win this fight. And I remember as soon as the fight was over, I hit him with a right uppercut, dropped him, and tried to shoot on a double. And I remember getting the guillotine. And I worked this with Producer Verdun. Anybody knows who Producer Verdun is? Yeah. And the guillotine is something that I worked a lot with him. And he said, always the crunch. And I remember squeezing it, and I was in the best shape probably was, 'cause I had no injuries, which was great. But I remember getting the guillotine so tight with arm in, and I heard him go, and he couldn't breathe. I was like, oh, I was gonna hold on for dear life. McCarthy tried to pull me off, and I wasn't letting go. I felt like a lion that has never eaten before in his life, and this is my meal. And because my mind was going through everything, and within that 5 seconds, I thought I'm gonna lose everything. I'm gonna have to restart it all over again. I'm gonna lose this big contract for the next 4 fights. And I remember McCarthy ripping me off, and he had to put his thumb underneath my throat. And literally, you could watch the fight, and he pulled my head off, and I still wouldn't let go. And I finally said, all right, cool, I'll let go. Oh. It was the most exhilarating feeling in the world. Because the first thing that popped in my head is remember all those guys at the Ultimate Fighter on Michael Bisping's team going, no, Tito, go ahead and do the Gravedigger now. And I thought that in my mind. I was like, oh, I got to do the Gravedigger now. But that Gravedigger started at the very beginning of my career. I learned that. I watched a Muay Thai guy do it, and I was like, I got to do that one of my fights. I make it interesting, make it fun. But when I beat Bader, I think that was the biggest time in my life that I realized that it was time to grow. And since then, me and my ex haven't been a part of each other, and it's been, God, 11 years, or God, almost 10 years now. God, we're getting old, huh? Jesus. But that fight was one of my biggest ones, I think, for sure. I mean, I think it's more of what I've gone through in life, because at that time, when I was the world champion, everything had not handed to me. Everything was easier because I didn't have problems. But when you have a relationship problem, anybody ever been in a bad relationship in your time, it's difficult. And it was very difficult for me because I'm a very emotional person. I mean, I cry. I'm happy. I have like feelings like I as a normal man should, I think. I mean, I don't think I'm bad or anybody else. I assume myself as each and every one of you guys as hard workers, and we got to provide for our families, right? I have that same feeling. I mean, I'm able to show this to my children so they know that I'm real. And that's why if anybody ever came and talked to me in my sign or my booth and so forth, I'm a real person. I'm not some big fighter guy that thinks I'm too cool than each and every one of you guys. I work hard. I know all this shit could be taken away with a flip of the fingers. I could have nothing. And the same people you see on your way up is the same people you see on your way down. And I just treat people with respect and values as I want to be treated. I think it's important.
With the fight game early on in your career, there were so many storylines going on in your career. At the beginning, you know, Dana and Chuck, Dana was your manager, Chuck was your teammate, and then we all know how that went. I think everyone in this room has had an experience with a boss where it's been a bit of a tricky relationship. You're one of the most prized assets in the history of the promotion. Dana knew that, but your relationship was like openly rocky. What was that like from your perspective?
It was really hard for me because it was like someone as Dana I loved. Like he's like a close friend to me. Like we started with nothing. Like before they even bought the UFC, he came to my house and begged me to be my manager. And I was like, I didn't trust anybody. I was like, I don't trust anyone. But I trusted him to a point where they bought the company and all of a sudden it was a conflict of interest, I thought. And I was watching something earlier I think today or yesterday, and Ronda Rousey said the fighters that get paid, if they're able to put money up or earn the UFC money, then they should get some money out of it. I believe that 100%. If you're able to do the work and people want to buy tickets, people want to see the front row, people want to buy the pay-per-view. I mean, you got to sell a fight. You're going to sell a fight. People want to see it. I mean, you want to see someone saying, oh, he's a good fighter, oh, he's a good fighter. We'll see who wins. How boring is that? Compared to someone, oh, I'm going to kick your ass, I'm going to take all your money. And I mean, they say stupid things sometimes. But once again, I keep those 3 rules in a personality. You know, talk about a person's family, talk about their country, and don't lie. I mean, I had the same problem with Chael Sonnen. He lied so much. It was like, but the crazy thing is people believed like half the shit this guy would say. It would drive me nuts.
Because I was watching a documentary the other day, and when you was coming back from the filmmaking side of things, Randy just mentioned the Cradle to the Grave thing, which actually was the first time I ever saw you. Yeah. When I was a kid, I saw you in that movie. But Ken Shamrock, that Ultimate Fighter season happened after that, and I remember watching this documentary, and Dana said he was sat cage side and you was in the arena, and you're like swearing at each other over the phone. He's like, "No, but I've got something for you," and then they announced it. They announced it not long after.
Yeah, I was very fortunate. On my contracts I signed, I get it. I signed my contracts and I was okay with it. But when they were making the money they were making, I just seen what's right and wrong. And I tried to stand up for myself and for other fighters. And I did. I mean, now the guys, they make really good money. Some of them don't. But it's one of those things that you kind of want to watch your step because they're so strong they can do what they want pretty much. So, yeah.
That Ken Shamrock press conference as well, and the whole season on that Ultimate Fighter, what was that like going up against a guy? He hated you. He hated you during that Ultimate Fighter.
It was so easy to push his buttons. I don't know what it was. I mean, maybe the steroids he did or so forth. I don't know. No, I know I'm joking. No, I like Ken. Ken's a good guy. Not a good coach at all. But I mean, I was born to coach. I love coaching. Everybody ever watch The Ultimate Fighter? I love it. It's so fun. And I just actually coached against Rampage 2 weeks ago in Miami. And I came down to the last fight and we won. It was had 7 fights. We won 4. They won 3. But it was cool. It was fun. Exciting. I love to coach. I've always wanted to coach, but finally just kind of took advantage of everything else.
Coach Bisping on that season as well.
And he was a beast. Bisping would do everything I said. He never questioned anything. He always pushed himself as hard as possible. But that's why he's the champ. I mean, champions work hard like that, and Bisping was that man always.
Were you emotional when he won the belt? Like, how much did it mean to yourself, having been a part of his career, to see him lift the world title?
Well, I mean, when he took the fight, I was like, man, you're taking that fight super fast. You shouldn't take it that fast. He goes, out of the hell with it, man. I'm in shape. I've been working with Jason Prolo. He goes, I'll give it a try. Let's see what happens. He goes, I'm going to win this shit. And I was like, God. And he did. I was proud of him, man. Super proud of him.
And we all know how much it meant to you to fight Chuck Liddell for that 3rd time. Obviously, working with Oscar De La Hoya was...
It actually didn't mean me that much. I told Chuck not to do the fight, and he still wanted to do it. he pretty much wanted to... Thinks he could beat me, and he said, I go, you're fighting a totally different guy. And he said, no, just show up and fight. I go, all right, you're going to see what happens. I'm a different man. And I had that much confidence. I knew that I would just smash through him. He shouldn't be fighting. I mean, at the time. I mean, he needs to take care of his health. I think that's more important.
Are you and him pretty cool now?
Yeah, we're cool now. We're cool now. We're kosher.
The Oscar De La
We're
Hoya
not like
thing,
best friends. It's not like I'm going to take him out to dinner or anything. I probably would. He's a good guy.
That was pretty mad at the Oscar De La Hoya press conference when he just didn't have any knowledge of MMA, did he, man? Like, did you have a conversation with him?
When you do a promotion and so forth, you got to understand everything. It's not just going up there and showing your name. It's any type of job. I mean, you got to come in and make sure you understand your whole lineup, who the guys are, what their records are, and so forth. And he didn't. But I mean, at the same time, I told Chuck not to take the fight, and he still did it anyways. And it lasted around. I worked really, really hard. Once again, I did 18-week camp for that fight. My life was positive. I'm with my new girlfriend at the time, fiance now, or wife now. But life's different. I think when my mind's right, my body's right, it's just I feel almost unstoppable sometimes. I mean, especially in MMA. I mean, my last fight against Anderson Silva, it pissed me off because I took a right hand. It was boxing. I took a right hand, and he struck me 3 times behind the head, and it just wasn't right. And cutting 40 pounds in a month was really hard, for sure. Really, really hard.
Are you itching to get back in there? Is it realistic?
I'll do one more this year. I mean, everyone says I ain't going out like that. I've never been knocked out in my career ever. I'm laying on the ground and rolling back over, and I seen the ref, and I go, "What happened?" He goes, "You got hit." I was like, "Motherfucker, man!" I was so mad. You understand? 25 years, I've never been knocked out. Chuck dropped me, but he didn't knock me out. Like, the back of my head was super, super, super sore. I had lumps for a good week and a half. Anderson hit me with the good shots, and I've never been snored before. It's a weird feeling. It doesn't hurt. You guys think it would hurt? It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt when you get knocked out at all. It hurt after, the next 2 weeks. It wasn't bad.
Would the next one be boxing or MMA?
No, I do MMA. I want to smash someone. I just want to double leg them and just elbow through our face.
Who do you want to smash? Come on.
I don't know. Someone make a fight interesting. Someone I like to smash. I like to smash Chael Sonnen. I really would like to smash his face. Is there kids in here? Because I fucking hate that guy. I dislike that man. I do not dislike people. I mean, I'm real. But that guy I dislike. I don't like him.
Would you find it hard not to get physical with him in a press conference environment?
I'd
Because
be
he's never
afraid
going
to
to show
get, like if he was here, we'd get physical. I don't like him. He talked about my family. There's a line drawn there. You talk about my family, it don't matter. And then even after the fight, after it was over, after we fought, he still brought up my kids, and I was like, this fucking guy. I mean, I get emotional with my children. It's like, you don't talk about my kids. Don't do it. And he still did it, and it was just.
I think that would be under a Bellator banner, or you could just self-promote it yourself.
I don't know. I'll probably put it on myself and take a pay cut and do it for free. Fuck it. Why not?
It's great.
Stream it out to all you guys. You guys see it online for free, huh? Oh, that'd be cool, huh? Yeah.
We'd all 100% watch it. And it's great to hear you doing so well, Tito, and great to hear how happy you are.